I was in the middle of watching this video yesterday, like last night, and I got pretty far in. And the allegations against MrBeast were quite heavy despite this content cop intro style of video. I actually got through this cringier part into the more serious side of things. And to summarize what I had watched up until that point, I basically got to a point of understanding that MrBeast exploits almost 99.9999 to 100% of the people that are within the content, and they're corroborating this theory that most people have had about MrBeast for a long time now.
As someone that suffers with depression from loneliness, suicidal thoughts and unfulfillment, do you recommend I stop saving for retirement so much? Currently I am saving between $1,200 to $2,000.
Bro, what the fuck? Bro, you think... I've never been asked that question in my life. I might commit suicide, so why am I saving money? Is that what you saying? In GTA? Like, what do you mean? Yes, keep saving. I'm so, you know... Can I get back to what I was saying? I can't help you. I don't know what that means. Sean, not a financial advisor. You gotta be a financial advisor to tell niggas to save their money? You know what? Forget it. Bro, you gonna live, okay? Dragon Ball Sparking Zero comes out in literally 2 months. Just chill, bro. Relax. It's not that serious. What I was trying to say before y'all interrupted me rudely, there is a man in this video called Jake something. I don't remember his name. But he was trauma dumping throughout a large portion of it. Like, he actually developed a lot of potential PTSD from being on the MrBeast set and on the MrBeast team. He spoke about how he had these issues when it came to his suppression. Not depression, but he was suppressed on the MrBeast team because he didn't get along with Jimmy, who you all know as MrBeast. He was thrown aside. He had a friend who worked there as well, a black dude with a kid, he says at one point. And then he also says that he had an issue with the pay that he was receiving, despite the fact that the channel was doing so well and he was putting so many hours into it. But he walked in, and his friend, who at the time, you know what I'm saying, the black dude with the kid, he went in there to support his complaint, and they basically fired them both. He received a severance package, or a little severance pay, I think, and that was it. But he said he was invited back to film a video that I think a couple people have watched, known as the "I spent however long in solitary confinement." And so we all know that that's not a good idea. Clearly, anybody in solitary is not recommended. A lot of people always ask the question, $100 million, but you got to spend, you know, a year in solitary confinement, and everybody jokes that they can do it, but no actual professional or person with common sense recommends or advises you spend any amount of time in there alone, because it's a bad idea. They don't even do that to terror suspects or whatever you call it. It's a war crime, basically. You can't do it. Humans can't sustain it. He mentions how it was really not prepared for the type of challenge that he was supposed to be doing. At one point, he was so exhausted that they told him that he had to run a marathon, despite having not gotten any sleep, because they kept leaving the lights on while he was in solitary. Lights not being turned off while you're in solitary can cause all type of hallucinations. It can cause mental instability. It can cause vision issues, all types of shit. It just basically plays with you. So he probably suffered a lot more beyond this point than he might have let on, and suffered permanent damage. He says that he went to therapists and all this other stuff. He basically got destroyed trying to do a MrBeast challenge, and at the end of it, didn't even get compensated the amount that someone would be for the torture that they had to endure for the video. He was told all these things, blah, 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 blah. But the most egregious part of everything was probably when we get to the end of the video, and the dude who's making the video gets to one point where he is addressing a pedophile who is on the MrBeast team, on the MrBeast set. And we all know about the situation with Ava Chris Tyson, you know what I'm saying? Inappropriately messaging a 13 to 16-year-old minor for years or however long. And we know how that situation happened. And, you know, a lot of people gave MrBeast the benefit of the doubt, claiming that, yo, that don't mean that he knew about it or was in on it. He could have just been, you know, with a bad apple, which, I mean, sure, that's possible. But it doesn't help when the next instance of failure that we see within the company is a dude who is known as Delaware. And they call him Delaware because he's not allowed back there.
And you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that. And he's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And you know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around, and whatever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face can be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender? With a physical mask? Like, do I have to, is it more on the nose? Or, I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, Jimmy knew about it? The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
Okay, so finally I have a recorded phone conversation. The person on the other end of this line is a different former MrBeast employee talking about Delaware. Also, apparently before this phone conversation got recorded, the person on the other end of the line said that the MrBeast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry, and that's what actually
sounds crazy.
This person to start recording.
And if you were to do anything in the affidavits and testimonials from people, you have to move very quickly because, well, there's people that are going to go back and say things.
Okay, so Reed is MrBeast's former manager who was in the last video telling Jimmy, hey, don't promote gambling to children. So, I think Reed's taken 2 W's this month. Don't promote gambling to children and don't have offenders on payroll.
Oh my fucking God.
Also, yeah, just from where I'm sitting, it seems extremely unlikely that Jimmy wouldn't know, but, I know I'm sure that's the defense he'll go with, so I'll just say preemptively, if somehow Jimmy didn't know about Delaware, I think it's still such an extreme level of negligence. Like, what, you're not doing background checks, everyone at your company knows, but somehow you don't know. I think that needs more of an explanation than just saying, I didn't know. Well, how didn't you know? How did this person get into the company and a company that makes content for children and is around children? So yeah, Jimmy, I think we need an explanation from you or your lawyers and PR people and representatives and spokespersons and on how you could have not known that there was an offender at a high level in your company. And while you're responding to that, why not just respond to the allegations of rigging contest videos and selling fake signatures, running illegal lotteries, the dangerous conditions on the set of Beast games, you should address those too. So yeah, just let us know. Okay, that was my interview with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle. I know he will be coming out with a longer cut of this interview as well as other content. So I just wanted to shout him out. Jake Weddle, top link in the description.
So, I'm kind of waiting on a response. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of waiting to see how that close out. They basically got to the understanding throughout the whole video or from the clips or whatever that I saw. MrBeast had this don't take no for an answer mentality. I forgot where he actually showed the clip, but it was like a pamphlet of information where they were basically saying if you're on the MrBeast team, if it's for the benefit of the video, make sure that you harass your way into getting a yes so that we can essentially be able to do what we need to do to make content. You know what I'm saying? No doesn't really mean no. A wagging hand or a wagging finger or somebody saying that we have a boundary in place here, even at the expense of their own job potentially. Yeah, that's not what that means. We can keep going. Whatever it takes for the video. And so it would be 100% reasonable for everything that the dude Jake in this video alleges that happened when they're trying to coerce him into staying in that confinement space for 30 days so he can get his money or whatever. It's 100% reasonable for me to understand that, okay, they probably try to coerce him or incentivize him to stay longer or try to prevent him from leaving at some point, which he says that they tried to do multiple times, even though he said that he couldn't go any further, even though he said that he didn't want to do anything more. And the other reason why I believe that is we've seen videos with MrBeast where he does these challenges. He agrees or gets the people that do the challenges, if I'm going to believe any of this is real, he gets them to agree to shit. And halfway through the challenge, he introduces a new concept that most people probably aren't going to say no to because they've already been in there for a considerable amount of time. So he just does something new or adds a new layer or a new texture to the challenge to make it more spicy for the video, despite the fact that he didn't tell them that there would be any changes prior to them signing a contract that says that he can't be sued if something happens to them or whatever the case may be. So I believe like all of this to an extent, and I believe it even more so because of those videos that released from MrBeast in 2018, 2019, 2020, where he was younger and he's saying all this weird shit. And although he was a kid at that time, it 100% makes me believe that he probably enabled his friends and even Ava, Chris Tyson to get into those spaces with minors and talk reckless, talk crazy. But now that he's got a big brand, it's real easy to pretend that you've been on that and you've been professional this entire time. They even got a tweet or a video or a screenshot of his supposed ex-girlfriend coming out and making a statement about him or the people that he used to work with. But I didn't think I'd be invested, to be honest. The rebrand had to occur quickly. You know, and this isn't the first time that MrBeast has been accused of exploiting people for the sake of a video. But me, I always looked at his actions like, all right, it's a consequence. As long as at some point at the end of the day or at the end of the video, somebody's being helped, maybe it's worth the exploitation potentially a little bit. But clearly, it's a lot more sinister than it was being led on. You know what I'm saying in the beginning. Somebody potentially on the team is potentially debunking what was said. So here is another tweet, I'm assuming from a MrBeast team member. It was my decision to fire him for erratic behavior. He worked at the company for less than a month and wasn't an employee for most of the videos he mentions to have knowledge on. There's so much in this video, and I want to specifically address him saying our videos are fake or staged. But this tweet, I believe, is in reference to the other video. So not this video, but the video that was filmed 2 weeks ago. I worked for MrBeast. He's a fraud. This is what the tweet, I think, is in response to. You won't get in a video unless you're family or friends with someone that works at Beast. This is a wild statement that can easily be proven wrong. There's probably hundreds or thousands of people who have no affiliation to friends, family, or at MrBeast. Think 456 people in Squid Game or ages 1 to 100. Jimmy doesn't know more than a dozen people, LOL. I don't think that that's 100% true. It's probably a mix of both. It's probably a mix of new people and people that he already knows. We saw that one dude who competed that came back for like 3 videos. The dude who broke his cookie at the end of his challenge, and then he came back, and I think he lost again. And then I saw him in another video after that. So it's probably a mix of, yeah, these are my friends, I know them, and maybe we'll get a new guy every now and again. I'm 100% sure that that happens. The train wreck was CGI. The bus wheels are CGI. The pit is fake. He's acting like he's exposing us for using CGI to make backgrounds look cool when we have done multiple public behind-the-scenes videos with whoever showing this. It's not a secret. On top of that, we did. I don't know about that. This is non-consequential. The raccoon was a paid actor. I don't even know what to say about this. Clearly not an actor. Island cost more than $1. I don't know what this means. He moved into a mansion 2 months before being in a video, $1 million mansion. So I'm glad I didn't watch the first video because this seems like a real big he said, she said, as does this one, but it corroborates a lot more of how I would have assumed things would have been happening anyway. This seems a lot more despite the dramatic way of telling the story, a lot more authentic than, I guess, allegations of a disgruntled previous MrBeast employee saying that he's fake, you know, and this is my perfect opportunity to come out and expose him. I believe that not every part of the videos are real or genuine. Not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers. We probably had countless people on set, and it would have been impossible to hide. The video was not scripted. Yeah, I mean, he could say that this video is not scripted, but some of the videos are. You know, do I believe this? No. I believe some of the videos are scripted, some of them are probably not. As you get bigger, or as they got bigger, it probably became more profitable to have more of a structure to a video. So even if something wasn't direct, like, oh, you say this line, you say this line, they probably had a theory for how they wanted things to go throughout the whole thing. Like I said, I don't think it happens for every video, but it probably happens for some. He also suggested the real-time video was fake. This is not fake. It was a nightmare to make this video, and it was legit filmed in 10 minutes. Also, I think some of MrBeast's giveaways are fake. We do not fake giveaways. We have been hands-on with some of them and have been personally in contact. I mean, yeah, this doesn't make sense. Having a giveaway from MrBeast be fake, knowing the style of content that he makes, probably isn't like the best accusation. Is scripting videos a bad thing? Not necessarily. It's not the worst thing in the world, which is why, like I said, it being given so much attention doesn't necessarily mean that much to me in this regard. The only thing that would be a problem if the videos were fake would be if the people that he was helping on the philanthropic videos, I guess, were fake. Like if they weren't real victims to anything, if they didn't actually need any money, if they weren't actually homeless, like that would be the only issue that I would take for a fake video. But this, I mean, if you have contestants in a video, if you want to make it entertaining and it's fake, I really don't care like that. But the video that he's saying that he was a part of, this video, if I could find it, the picture of it, where he's in a basically an orange jumpsuit and he's forced to be in solitary, like that one obviously was a real video from his recollection. I could keep going, but I don't want this to be long. Dawson himself said on Reddit that he was on shrooms and weed when filming this video, which might explain some of the stuff that he made up. His only employment was from March 25th, 2024, and was let go less than a month later. He was on a 90-day trial, and we ended it early and paid him out his June 25th, as we guaranteed the 90 days of pay so he could transition into a new job. I'd appreciate if anyone reading this could help dispel all the fake rumors by spreading this info. Jimmy spends unfathomable amounts of money and time to ensure the integrity of what he does, and I hate to see it come into question with a bunch of lies. Dawson, if you leave this up, then you're a hypocrite. I don't think it's gonna look good for MrBeast. I didn't think it would turn into this. Here's some Delaware info. The dude who I guess is the sex offender on the MrBeast team. I don't know if he's still employed. I don't think he is anymore. You actually have to, as an employer or as a company, you're liable for hiring a sex offender, a known sex offender, and I think not letting the team know, or just hiring them in general, especially if they're high risk. So legally speaking, I mean, that's something that you will get in trouble for if it's found out to be true. Jake the Viking seemingly knew that his brother-in-law was a sex offender and committed a sexual crime against someone under the age of 12 and allowed him to be around MrBeast videos. Jake has been very vocal about Ava Chris Tyson situation. Oh, this is a tweet from 2018. Yo, these niggas are crazy. This is a level of like negligence and willfully looking away. I'm an editor who played football my entire life, and I think you should give up. You must have made it so far with that mindset. I think I'm in school about your brother's criminal record, so you can't tell or you can't record high schoolers anymore. Figured you'd have a shit response. You're shallower than I imagined. What would the actions of my brother-in-law with an instance that happened before I even knew him have to do with me? Take some time to think of a good... Nigga, what the fuck? Ava Chris Tyson reveals major allegation regarding the Jake the Viking's brother-in-law. Never asked Jake how he protected his kid or his family from his brother-in-law. What? Low blow, thought you weren't talking about kids. Who you keep in your company describes a lot about you. Holy shit. Bro, who are these people? Bro, this is crazy. 4th degree course with someone less than... Bro, someone 1 to 11 years old? I know I saw the age earlier, but just seeing it be used as a gotcha in a tweet from one pedo to another, and this wasn't like a low position. They're saying that this was a manager. Like this was a big wig, a nigga that had a little status. He had some pull. They putting everything out there. How the fuck you even near someone that young? I pray to God it had nothing to do with his family. Not that that makes it any better, but that's typically how. Conviction date 2010, offense date 2004. He was born in 1987 and committed a crime against 1 to 11-year-old in 2004. How old would he have been in 2004? 17 or 18 years old? Yeah, no, it's still no excuse. I'm not a fucking investigator. I was just trying to see something. I was just piquing my interest.